Hello, my name is Gerald. I'm from Team 3.4. Team name is Optibot Rollout. You can see here, my name is Gerald, and joining me is Huaning David, Chen Hao, Johanna, Eddie, and Nicholas. So this is our architectural design. It's all running on Docker in a network called Optibot Net. So first up, we have our MySQL container storing all our persistent data. Next up, we have our web server containing the front end and back end. And the back end, we're using Flask. So for this web server, you actually send jobs. When user click on the button, you'll send jobs to a RabbitMQ message broker, which contains 3 different queues for the different ML pipelines. So the first pipeline or model we have is text-to-speech, where we take in a text and generate an audio file and send it to the MySQL container. Next up, we have object detection, work the same way. And next, lastly, we have a bundle of 2 different models working together. So first up, we have BQAIC to generate the caption of the image, and you'll send a caption to BQ to generate the question and answers. Why we're doing this is because, BQAIC, the question generation is not very accurate. That's why we are using BQ as a helper. So they're communicating using a REST API. Now we'll be presenting the Docker Compose how to get started part. So as you can see here, this is our network, AutoNet, and we have a subnet of this IP and range. So we also added some service check to make sure certain service is healthy so that other services know. So let's move on to Docker Compose up. Very simple, you just need to do Docker Compose up. And you can see that all 7 different containers is created and going to be running soon. So for the first time that you're running Docker Compose up, it will take longer. Why? Is because some of the images are not downloaded yet, and it can range up to like 14 GB, so it take a long time downloading. And alright, all is running up, so we can hop on to localhost 8000 to see the results. Hello, so in this part we'll be presenting the web page. So over here is the main page where you can see all the different exercises. So over here we have the name, the amount of questions and answer, the statuses of the ML model to generate the question and answer, and of course the actions. So maybe we'll start off with creating a new exercise. We call it classroom, and let's choose an image. We can choose perhaps this image here. Okay, now we click save and generate. Actually, you can see here in the statuses, OD in progress, BQAIC in progress. So these 2 are our ML models, and they are actually generating question and answer. So once I click refresh one time, and you can see OD is completed 1 question. So over here, one of the constraints we have is that we don't have live reloading. So you need to manually reload your browser to see the results. So give it a while more. You'll take about 10 seconds to generate questions normally for BQAIC, because you generate more questions. Alright, and now that you see it's done, we have 7 different questions generated. So maybe let's view and edit them. You can see that we have 7 different questions, and perhaps you can see the origin as well. So this origin is from OD, object detection, and whatsoever. So maybe this one I don't want a comma, so I can delete it. And here the question is, what color is the table? So the table is actually transparent, so I'll delete the question. And maybe I'll add a new question of my own. So are they inside or outside? And I put inside. And I will click save updates. And again, we have 7 questions because I added a new question, deleted 1. And you can see all the changes is made. The comma is gone, the table question is gone, and the new question is self-created origin. So moving on to playing the question, the exercise. This is more for the students, where you show the image and you can review the answer. Oh, why is it in this picture 3%? And perhaps the teacher wants to generate text-to-speech. They can press generate question speech, and a job is created, text-to-speech, with the ID in progress. So this will take about 20 to 30 seconds. Alright, we are back, and text-to-speech is generated. So once I click play again and I go to a specific question and I click play question.
Are they inside or outside?
Yes, are they inside or outside? So our audio file here is actually generated using a text-to-speech model. So if you play a question that is not generated, you will just say
no audio file found.
Yes, a default no audio file found. Alright, great. So lastly, you also can delete exercises, so you can just press delete and it's gone. And this is the end of our presentation for web application.
To standardize testing across ML models and other application containers, we have set the memory and CPU limits in the Docker Compose file for testing, as shown over here. So on the left here is the entry of the command to run the JMeter test file and to generate the result into a certain folder, which is the one on the right. So in the results folder, there will be an index.html, which will, if you open it up, it will display all the results from the test ran. So generally, most of the performance requirements that we tested for are for response time and for throughput all throughout. So for most of our ML models and other application containers, we use JMeter to test it. But for our communication broker, which is RabbitMQ, we use their own performance testing tool, which is called perf test, to test for throughput, and the following are the results generated.